Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be talking to you about my Protech automatic knife. The model is the TR-1 and the Benchmade automatic knife 9500 mini Stryker. I got this Protech back in, I believe, 2002, and I may have given $125 for it. I remember paying that amount, and I everyday carried this knife for about a year. And to show you this knife, first thing is you'll notice that it's very similar to a specific knife you've already seen, and most of you Emerson fans out there can see that it really looks similar to the CQC7, and I should have one here to compare it with. This is the Emerson CQC7. It's not the mini and it's not the super. It's the regular size. So you can see they're almost similar in length. The only difference is the Emerson, the belly of it here is a little bit wider, but very similar in shape, both the front and back, and even the clip shape almost looks similar. But the overall look, if you see, the only difference here really is the Emerson has the wave. So let's talk about this knife and my everyday carry experiences with it. I like this very much because if you see the clip, if this rides in your pants, your pant material goes way up to the edge up there. So, and anything above my thumb is what's going to stick out of your pocket. So it rides very low in your pocket. I don't like the silver screws. Why they did that, I don't know. I guess I could change them. But this is all factory, direct from Protech. It's an old school design. There is no lockout on this model. Other models, other manufacturers put a lockout button to keep you from accidentally deploying the knife while it's in your pocket. It's got a very big push button open release. The handles, I believe, is the T6 6061 aluminum. The blade is 154 cm and it's black coated. And the thing about this knife that I also like the best about is that it has a stiff spring. And to show you how fast it opens, I'm going to count it down. You'll hear it click and then see that it's open. So if you blink, you may miss it. 3, 2, 1. And that's the blade. It opens really fast. It's got a stiff spring. Kicks really hard in your hand. Beautiful knife. The Tanto point. It's got the the chisel grind. And if I compare it with the Emerson, I mean, they're almost identical, except for the wave and the skeleton handles. The shape, grind is basically the same. The handles are the same almost, except there's actual jimping, and it's a rough jimping, pretty deep knurled. You can see it offers a very positive grip. It's a lot thicker jimping than on the Emerson. This knife feels great in your hand in the forward grip, and the same goes for the reverse grip. And this knife is very lightweight, and you almost forget that it's in your pocket. It's an open back, so if you put this in your pocket, do not put your keys and coins in that same pocket, and they'll find the blade. This is the original edge to it. I've cut meat, potatoes, oranges and apples with it, but whenever I was done using it, I'd wipe it clean, and at least every week I would strop it on a leather strop to keep it fresh. I never abused this knife, and so, you know, it's maintained a great edge. Next knife we're going to talk about is the Benchmade Mini Stryker 9500. I purchased this in the mid-2000s. I may have given $135 for it back then. This design is from the Stryker model. It's first thing you'll see here is the lockout, keep you from accidentally pushing the open and close button. It's got a small button compared to the Protech TR. The lines of this are smoother, curves. This would make a good knife, carry knife for ladies. It just feels, soft, smooth, and the curves give it that, you know, uh, smooth, feminine feel to it. I use the word feminine loosely here, and I apologize. Um, it's got the lockout accessible to your thumb, and it's softly sprung, and you can see it as I count it down. 3, 2, 1. It's the push button has a creep to it. I've dropped oil in here before, and I'll do it again. You can hear me actually pushing it down, then it'll release. It's got a creep to it, but it's also softly sprung. You can actually see the blade opening, and I don't know, it's because it's a silver blade, reflects the light, but it feels like it opens significantly slower. The handle is the same as the Protech. It's a T6 6061. The blade material is your 154 cm. It's got a little bit of slop from the factory. You can tighten this Torx to get the slop or play out, but then it makes the blade open slower. So it was preset at the factory as far as the tightness and tolerance of the blade to the handle. So all you folks that are picky like myself, do yourself a favor, do not mess with the pivot bolt. Leave it the way it is. But I carried this for about a year, and I really, didn't feel like if I was cutting cardboard, I could actually feel the blade wobble a little bit. I'm very picky like that, and I apologize to you folks, but to me it's like, you want to put these knives through their paces, so in case you ever needed them as a backup weapon or an actual defensive weapon, you wouldn't want it to fail. And you just want that reassurance in the back of your mind that should you use this to stick someone with to protect your life, that it won't snap here at the where the blade meets the handle. And I'm sure it wouldn't, but there's always that thought in your mind. But it worked out pretty well. It held an edge, and I'm a fan of the 154 cm blade. Like I said, on my other knives, I stropped it with a leather strop. This is the original factory edge, and if you look right at the edge, it gets shiny, and I believe that's from stropping this on a leather strop. At least at the end of the week, after every week when I used it. I don't abuse my knives. I use them the way they're meant to be used, because I needed them to be ready should I need a backup weapon to protect myself with at work. So that's my review on these two knives, and if I had to pick one between the two as an everyday carry all over again, I would hands down pick the TR-1 Protech, for the fact that it just gives me that reassured feeling of it being tough and stiff and solid knife. Should I have to go into combat with it, I know that it won't fail me. And I'm sure the Benchmade wouldn't fail me either, but it doesn't inspire confidence. Cutting boxes, simple task of daily chores, cutting potatoes, meat with it. It just didn't give me the sense of a stiff, solid knife. And to me, that's what I look for, whether I'm paying $5 for a knife or $5,000 for a knife. I want to know that I'm going to get that reassurance when I need to use the knives. So anyway, that's my review. If you have any questions about either of these knives, feel free to comment. So until next time, be safe.